everybody. It's me, Strawberry. I'm here with a video speech to go along with my written speech because I feel like I'm a much better talker than a writer, and we all know word players don't read. Maybe you'll take the time to listen to this. Who knows? Maybe you'll just blow off the whole thing. Um, I just want to start off by saying a little bit about me and how I play. I'm a very social player. I pretty much sucks at comps. Like I can't. There's not a comp I can win. I don't think I've ever won a comp. Like if there's a creative comp, yes, I can win that. But like it's funny. Like I feel like as soon as something's timed, mind goes blank and I get them all wrong. Like there was one time where it was the only thing was is I had to pick a number between 1 and 100 and the fewest guesses. And it took me 115 guesses. Like this is just like if it even if it is easy, I will mess it up sometimes. But I think this works for me. And that's why Ashton sent me into fire because she knew if she sent me into fire, there was no way Ryan was going home. So I made that work for me. And I'm a very social player. I spend a lot of time getting to know everybody. Like, of course, like some people you just don't vibe with or whatever. But I really try to get to know everybody because I feel like in order to be a good survivor player, you have to know what everybody is thinking, what everybody wants to do, who they want to vote for, who they don't want to vote for, who are they aligned with, who are they not aligned with. And I feel like the number one thing people need to know, like people say, oh, they're playing an under the radar game. It's not under the radar. It's listening. Like, I feel like the first part of the game, you just need to sit back, you need to listen, and you need to learn who you're playing against. Because if you don't take the time, the first part of the game to get to know who you're playing with, it's you're not going to succeed the rest of the game. So I do feel that I did that the first um, we first started, like I got to know everybody. I was on the with Society Man and Blaze singing songs. I was very active with Josh and Ryan and Logan. I was, I knew Silk from before, so I, reconnected with Silk and tried to figure out where his head was at. And I feel like before the swap, I feel like it was relatively easy. I feel like we all got along really well. We voted out Arctic. He was a little inactive. And then we won some of the comps, so we were doing okay. And I was really got to know everyone on our tribe. So, oh, one other thing about me is that people underestimate me. They tend to think that you know, I don't take things seriously, like maybe I'm not strategic, and none of that is true. People underestimate me. I know exactly what is going on and what is happening. So the so when we go to the swap, this is when things started getting interesting. So now it was crazy that well maybe they did it on purpose that it was a 4-4. There was four of our OG tribe and four of the new tribe. It was Pigeon, Ash, Dakota, and Dawn, and it was Josh, Ryan's no, not Silk. Oh, me and Sage. So I was very concerned it was going to be 4-4, and then that was going to be horrible. And then when the first vote came back from the other side, when we had won immunity, and it was commit, I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be good. So I was really happy when we did end up going to tribal that Ash and Pigeon worked with Ryan and me, and we decided to vote out Zane. And then after that, after Zane, Erin ended up walking. So I was really happy with this. And I was really happy I got really close with Ash. And Ash, I could tell, she was a social player too. But the thing with Ash is I feel like there were so many red flags. She was working with other people more than she was working with me. Like, I remember one time, like all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, I'm plating," like 2 minutes before trial. And I'm like, "What? You had plates?" Like, not that she had to tell me all of her advantages, but I kind of think she might have told other people her advantages. And then Ryan later on told Ash that he was using all of his plates, so they changed his vote to Silk and didn't tell me. Like, there were so many red flags that she was working with other people. And so I had to rethink my whole game because I felt like I was not, I either felt on the bottom of the majority alliance or I felt like outside of it. So I really felt like I had to work, like almost work with people individually. Like Ash, I really tried to focus on that relationship with Jeff Tarr. And then I did the same thing with Ryan and Josh. Pigeon, I tried, but she was a little like there was one time when we went to go vote, and I can't even remember who we were voting. And I said, "Oh, let's vote for this person or that person. Who do you think, Pigeon?" And she ignored me all day. And then I said, the next day, I'm like, "Why didn't you talk to me about the vote at all?" Because she left me on red. Like, I seriously messaged her and she never got back to me. And she's like, sorry, wrong pronouns. He was like, "Oh, I didn't, you just did that thing again where you picked two names and you were like, you don't care." I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you start a conversation about who to vote out? Like, was I just supposed to tell Pigeon I want to vote for this person? And, you know, I don't know. So I was a little iffy with Pigeon, but we did make it to merge. And then I got, my Logan back, and I got Silk back. I was really upset the society and commit was gone, but I did have those two people that were a big, I really got close to them at the beginning of the game. So I was really happy to have them back. So we started, so when the first couple of votes came on, I really tried to play them, not so much to play the middle, but I wanted to have options. Like, I wanted to have the option to vote with Ash and Pigeon, and I wanted the option to vote with like Logan and Josh and all my OG tribe. Like, I wanted to keep options open. And then, like, somewhere along the lines, like Josh and Logan get in this huge fight about plates and stealing plates and with Pigeon, and I'm like, wait a second. Like, first of all, where's all this conversation happening? It must be happening in Alliance chat that I am not in. So that was um, that was a big red flag. So I made an alliance chat with them because I felt like we didn't really have an alliance chat and I wanted to keep an eye on them. So I made an alliance chat with Ryan, Josh, and Logan. And I did leave Silk out. And the major reason why I left Silk out was that I was very leery of Silk. I I hosted him, and obviously I'm not going to let that, influence me. But I guess I did. I don't know. Like I know what kind of player he is. He's very cutthroat, and I feel like from from when the first couple of times we worked together after the merge, like I felt like I told him information and then he told me no information. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what happened? Like you didn't even talk to me. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you know what? Silk isn't really working with me. So I did make an alliance chat that didn't include him, but that was a big mistake because everybody in that little group was also working with Silk. So what did they do? They went and told Silk, and then Silk targeted me the next round. And I'm sure Ash will be like, oh, this is strawberry. And I'm sure she did help. But I'm also sure she wanted Logan out. And really, the only way I would have taken out Logan is if I thought I was in trouble. So then we ended up voting out Logan, and then they ended up voting Josh because they thought I had plates, which I don't even know why they thought I had plates because I don't know, like these plates, like they were riddles you had to solve. I don't do riddles. So I don't do riddles. Where was I in my whole conversation? Oh, so then Logan ended up going. I mean, I'm sure Ash will be like, oh, this is a strawberry. Oh, maybe she did help. I'm not going to take that away from Ash. So then the next round, I really knew that everybody was working with everybody and I was on the outside looking in. Like, I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like everyone was working together. And I knew that Silk was really close with Dawn because he tried to save Dawn and was successful. So I knew he was close with Dawn. I also knew he was close to Ash because pretty much everything I said to either of them got back to each other. So I went to Silk and I said, Silk, you know, okay. So I might have overreacted and said, why did you try to vote me out? Because I wasn't coming after you. Like, I feel at Final Eight is too early to be going after people that aren't going after you. And with there being so many people left, you know what I mean? Like, there were so many people left that were bigger threats than me. Why are you after me? So, and then plus, like, I don't understand this, and maybe Sil can explain this a little bit. But I feel like Final Eight, we don't have to vote together. And I feel like Silk went to everybody but me and tried to vote me out and didn't think that it would get back to me. That was weird on my part. That was weird. I thought that was weird. So I had a conversation with um Silk and I feel like he was probably working with Logan and once Logan left, he was a little lost. And I said, Silk, I have a great idea. You know what? You tried to vote for me. I understand. I left you out of things, blah, 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 which is crazy because I feel like the entire game Silk was leaving me out of things. But I said, so you know what? No one will expect us working together. Nobody, because you just tried to vote for me. And I am a little bit of an emotional player. So I felt like everyone would be like, oh, there's no way she's working with Silk. And I thought this is the perfect plan because I also felt like Ash and Pigeon and Ryan and Josh were all working together. And I was pretty much right on that part. So I was trying to get another, group together. And I felt like the main person I could work with was Silk. But then Silk gets voted out because, and this is like the biggest red flag ever, because like Ash was like, oh, Ash and Pigeon ended up voting for Silk. I ended up voting for Ryan, and I think Dawn voted for Ryan. Who even remembers? But then I'm like, afterwards, Silk goes home, and I go to Ash, and I'm like, what was that? Like, why didn't you tell me about the vote? And they're like, it was so busy. And then Pigeon's like, he's sending me pictures of them at a restaurant with the menu. So busy, I was strong. And like, I'm like, do they think I'm dumb? Like, literally, you had time to tell each other, but didn't have time to tell me. And why is that? Because you have an alliance chat that I am not part of. So after Silk went home, I'm like, I am in so much trouble. So I immediately went to Dawn, and Dawn and I had the Silk connection. Silk trusted me, and so Dawn trusted Silk, and Silk trusted me. So I was able to work with Dawn, and we made an alliance chat with Ryan, and we were going to vote out Ash. Now, I'm not sure what happened. Like, I'm not like maybe Ryan either didn't want to vote out Ash, or he was really sick and he was really shopping and busy. Because what happened is John and I and him were talking in the morning, and we're like, let's do Ash, let's do Ash, let's do Ash. And Ryan did not, I feel like he made one message, but then he ghosted us. And finally, because Dawn is another time zone, Dawn is like, I need to go to sleep. And I said, well, we need to figure out this vote. And the problem is we don't know if Ryan's going to come back and vote Ash with us. And if he doesn't, we're in big trouble. So the only other thing we could do was go to Ash and ask Ash to vote Pigeon with us. And she agreed. And then we told Ryan we're voting Pigeon. And then he came back on later when John was sleeping and was like, oh, we'll vote out, I'll vote out Axe with you. And I'm like, it's too late, John's sleeping. And let me just tell you why I thought that it was better to go with Ryan rather than Ash and to vote out Ash. One, because Ash was a really big social player, and I felt like she was really connected with everybody. And Ash kept saying, "Oh, he likes me." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Ash, everyone loves you. Like, why? Like, we all know everybody loves you." And there was a couple comments about people leaving that Ryan was a bit of a snake. So I figured I'd have an easier time to win against Ryan if I had to, because I could be like, it's nice and I didn't lie to you, and then I was up against the snake. Maybe they'd be more apt to vote for me. Um, so anyway, that didn't work out. Ash and Pigeon went, and then we had Final Four, and then Ash won, and then Dawn and Ryan. Yeah, we know what happens. Dawn and Ryan went to fire, and then Dawn won. So I just want to say, I feel like I played a good game. I feel like I did the best I could with what I had. I do feel like when I'm playing, I feel like people don't really know like what to make of me. Like, is she really playing? Is she just, doing this for so I feel like they don't know what to make of me. So I don't know if this helps or hurts me, but in this case it helped me because I felt like no one really knew where my allegiance was. Was it with Ash? Was it with Logan? Was it with Silk? Because I had to, instead of working, there was a majority alliance. There was a majority alliance out there. And I felt like I was either on the bottom of it, not even in it. So I felt what I needed to do was pick the few people like Josh, Ash, and Silk, which I felt like if I work with them individually, then once that majority alliance turned on themselves, I would be still standing. And that is pretty much my entire strategy was that that alliance was going to implode, which Ash even told me was like he felt that Ryan and Pigeon's game were too close to her game and she couldn't win against them. So she needed them gone. So I felt like I was absolutely correct. I kept my connection with Ash. I kept the connection with Ryan and Josh, all these individual connections. So when the majority alliance crumbled, I was still standing. So I don't know. I hope this isn't too long. I hope you listen to it. Um, I do tend to ramble. But like no matter what you do, just please keep an open mind. I'm happy to answer all your questions and